Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, and more. Follow Elliot in the Morning everywhere social at EITM Online.
Anthony Kiedis.
Yes, is this Elliot?
Yes, it is. How are you, sir?
I am terrible, but thank you for asking. How are you?
Better than Anthony Kiedis. How about that?
Yeah, no, I'm all right. I just wanted to see if you were paying attention.
Well,
Howdy.
of course I'm paying attention. I was just going to say, I feel like it's a great time to be a member of the Chili Peppers.
Wow, it is a very intense time to be a member of the Chili Peppers. So yeah, it's good. It's great. It's lively.
Yeah,
but it's a lot.
You got a new record. There's a stadium tour coming. You're getting all kinds of honors. You've had some fun TV stuff. Like, okay, that's a little intense, but it's all positive intense.
Super positive. It can induce certain waves of anxiety. Having to keep all of that moving and spinning, but the nice part is just when it's a quiet day and we're out there in the San Fernando Valley rehearsing, and I look around and I see my boys looking and sounding well. That's a nice feeling.
All right, I'll take that. How are rehearsals going for the tour?
They go good. We still have a lot of work to do, but that is the nature of being in a band. But I love it. I love showing up to rehearsal and playing these new songs. It's pretty interesting the first time you play a recorded song live for a handful of times, because it takes a minute, but then when you get it, it's like, wow, now we've got another one in the bag.
Hey, so let's go back a step, because I know we don't have a ton of time. But let's go back for one step. Is the band, and when I say the band, obviously John's back with the band, but even from a producer level, Rick Rubin is back with the band. Was it a comfortable old shoe, or was it a little bit awkward to walk around in again?
All shoes are a little bit awkward to walk around in. So I would say it was both. I mean, it's actually way more productive and inspiring, and just a creative bounty than it was awkward. But hopefully the writing process is a little bit awkward. You want to go through these uncomfortable feelings to get at the good stuff. But the truth is that John had he's our guy, and he's the chemistry of the band. So he brought in tons of beautiful ideas and beautiful sounds. So it was inspiring. It was also motivating.
Sure.
I've got to up my game today, because somebody's been working all night on their living room floor with a guitar in their hands. And then working with Rick Rubin it feels good. I love the guy. I love his ability to listen. He is wise, he is smart, he is soulful, and above everything else, he hears everything.
In terms of just like what's coming out of the band, or just the individual notes and sounds of the band, do you mean that way?
So he hears all of that, which
Sure.
I don't know how he does. He'll be like, can you try a different bass drum pattern in the third verse at the end, where you kind of go to this pattern? Can we invert that? And I'm like, how did he even know what Chad was playing? There's a million things going on. But he hears it all, but he also hears the sentiment. He also hears the dynamics. He also hears the interplay between the bass and the guitar. He hears the lyric. He hears the feeling. And if he doesn't hear it, he'll be like, can we try that completely different? We're like, what? Different? He's like, yeah, let's try it totally different. And we're like, okay, let's try it different.
Hey, I want to ask you one other thing about John coming back to the band. And I thought it was a pretty interesting angle of, with John coming back, that means that Josh had to go. But the thing that I thought was interesting was, and I don't know who had that conversation, who drew that straw, but when you think of it, you go like, oh, dude, that kind of sucks for him. Where he ended up was kind of a cool thing for him as well.
Yeah, I would say more than kind of. I would say there was almost perfect poetic justice, and apparently Josh has some good karma. So we love this guy, and we love playing with him, But when your family member comes back and says, "Hey, I'm home," you got to let him in. And John is that guy for us. He's been with us since the 80s, and when that moment came, we could not ignore it. Here's a guy that is our family member, and so it was a difficult thing to have to deal with Josh, and we all drew that short straw. Nobody was going to get that one alone.
Right.
We sat down and we had the most honest conversation we could, and it was heartbreaking. But like you said, a month later, Josh joins Pearl Jam. So it was like that was his favorite band in the world, anyways. We actually did him a favor. So every now and then things work out like that, and I felt very, very happy that Josh had a place to go and do his thing.
That's pretty cool. The record has 17 songs on it. It's my understanding that there were way, way, way more songs written, but kind of boiled everything down to the 17. For your part, Anthony, I was reading a story where you were talking about when it was time for lyrics to be added to songs. I guess during COVID, everything is locked down, and you're in Hawaii. And you're like driving around I'm not overly familiar with Hawaii, forgive me, but like you're driving around like some scenic, wooded, nice, lush area of Hawaii, just kind of listening to the music and letting words kind of come to you. Is that normal for you?
That is completely normal for me, and it wouldn't matter if I was driving through a scenic location or a bunch of small covered warehouses. I like to get in that car and drive listening to the day's musical work in the studio, and just works, and sometimes it does not. But it usually works when I have no expectations and I'm just listening, and every now and then I'll find myself stumbling upon rhythms or melodies or words, and because there was so much music to work on, I really didn't have time to say no to these ideas. So if an idea came, I recorded it, I wrote it down, whatever, and I just went on with the next.
When you think back over the Chili Peppers' history and you think back to songs, when you hear them back, whether it's on the radio or just wherever you are, and you hear a Chili Peppers song, in your head, do you go to where you were when those lyrics came to you?
Sometimes, not all the time. Songs take on a life of their own, and if somebody reminds you, like, where'd that come from? I might go, oh my God, that goes way back to that place and time. But sometimes they evolve. Sometimes they mean different things to different people, and I love all of that. Just because it came from a specific place, in my experience, it's still allowed to mean 1,000 different things to other people's experiences. So when people come up to me and they say, I love that song, it's all about this, and I'm like, it wasn't to me, but I'm so glad it is to you. True story.
The name of the record, Unlimited Love, comes from?
It came from kind of a lyric of a song called She's a Lover, and I was on that island with Rick recording vocals, and he was reading some lyrics of mine, and he says, ooh, Unlimited Love, that's a strong title. And I was like, for what? He's like, it's a strong title. So I was like, okay, make a note. Rick likes the title Unlimited Love, and I put it on a long laundry list of other album titles that I had come up with, and when I showed that to the boys in the band, they all gravitated towards my least favorite on the list, which was Unlimited Love. I had all these other colorful ideas. Like, no, get rid of those ideas because we're going with Unlimited Love. So I listened to the voices of my bandmates and my producer and thought maybe they know something I don't, and the record got its title.
Is it cool having a Chili Peppers star on the Walk of Fame?
Yes, and it would seem in this day and age like maybe it's just corporate or promotional or part of the machinery. But in actuality, it was a wildly emotional experience. It is a physically beautiful item on the sidewalk, and somehow it brought up a lifetime of being in this band. And I looked around and I saw my guys, and I'm telling you, no lie, there were tears in their eyes. And I think it's just the kind of culmination of going from gutter punk to, a person who gets to do nothing but play music for a job. So we are blessed. We are cursed. We are blessed.
I saw where Flea said, and maybe part of it is true with you, Anthony, but I saw where Flea said that, and kind of hinting at the same thing, that it could be seen as a little, promo-y, machine-y, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, but you don't understand. As a kid, I was banging garbage can lids, looking at those stars, from back when he was young, and playing a kazoo, and running around and being a street kid. Like, those weren't pieces of the machine down there. That was where I came in order to start doing what I do for a living now. So to be on there now, maybe there is that kid all these years later that's out there running around, maybe a little bit lost, maybe looking to find a break, and looks down, and that star represents something to him like it did for Flea all those years ago.
Exactly. So that is the hope. We all come from a place of being lost along the way, including John and Chad and myself. So perhaps in 100 years from now, there is that person who's down in their luck, looking for a little inspirato in their life, and they look down and they're like, who are these guys? Oh my God. If these punks made it, maybe I'll give it another try, or whatever the inspiration should be. But it's there. It's there as a reminder of, anything is possible. Dreams are coming true. Friends can do stuff together. It was actually really fun.
Good. Red Hot Chili Peppers, even though Anthony didn't like the name, Unlimited Love is out and available now. Truist Park in Atlanta, August the 10th. Nats Park in D.C. on September the 8th. Anthony, I appreciate the time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You got it. Thanks, man.
Have a good one.